Hello Virgo, thank you for tuning into your love read. For the main read, I'm using The Witch's Tarot by Ellen Dugan, illustrated by Mark Evans. Excuse me. And for the supportive cards, the Angel Answers Oracle cards by Doreen Virtue and Bradley Valentine. Okay. I already shuffled. First half for relationship for Virgo, second half for singles. Alright, this is the partner. I don't know why we're doing the partner first, but it looks like we are. And then you. Okay, now. So you got opportunity and abundance for your reading here. Opportunity is where that ends up. That I think the opportunity at the end here creates the abundance, or it might actually be more about the whole situation. There's a lot here. This is a good situation for you, it seems. Okay, so there's a lot of good energy, good feel with this relationship to start with. Now, that being said, the current place that this is in, you're very happy, you're very excited to be with your lover. You got the Two of Cups. Your lover has the Four of Cups. Now, I feel like there's things on their mind. There's a lot going on with your partner. Is that correct? And I feel like they might be distracted. I almost feel like whatever's going around them is like it's causing. They're not able to enjoy the moment with you as much as they would like to. I feel like there's like pressures and obligations that are really like. I feel like it's kind of like the energy of like until such and such is done, it just kind of eggs at them and it just kind of sits at the top of their brain. It's hard for them to relax type feel. So I'm getting the Four of Cups on their side, but I feel like because there's things they feel they need to do or they want done that maybe they can't do just yet, and it feels like it's pulling them away. They're not able to get into the moment as much as they'd like to with you. I don't feel like it's tainting the love between you and them at all. Just that it's hard for them to not think about whatever the situation or possibly more than one situation they have going, because they feel like it's unfinished and it needs to be finished, and they don't like that it's still in process, and things keep like filtering into their thoughts about this. They should do that. Oh, I should do this. I wish I was doing that right now. I want to get it done. Like I feel like it's the need to get it done. Okay. To try to stop from beating that to death, I'm going to go into the two of you are getting together. This is actually connecting the two of you. The Empress, yep. And the meditation brings answers, which makes me feel like quiet time together. Enjoying quiet time together, but I feel like still when you're enjoying this time with your partner, they seem a bit distracted. And they might feel like they're not mentally there, but that is why. And it's not, I just feel like it's stress. And there's something about whatever they're working on that they're trying to figure out. Something is egging at them that doesn't feel right for them, and they're just going through it in their brain, and they can't seem to help themselves. And I feel like if they try to force themselves not to think about it, they just get aggravated instead. So I feel like it's just something you have to let them do to let the situation kind of go on for its own purpose, whatever it's doing. I also feel like one of the reasons that they're kind of not there mentally is because the situation they're dealing with, they might be coming to a conclusion that they may not be comfortable with or totally happy with. But whatever's going on in that situation, that's not defining your relationship. That's what's going on in whatever they're dealing with, something that's not a part of your life with them. It's a part of something else that you're not included in. Not for a bad reason, but you're just not. That situation, whatever it is coming to a conclusion, which is moving them through like this death and rebirth feel, like the death to the world. Death to the world, that sounded really bad. Death moving into the world. Still not sounding any better. Basically, they're going through this transition. And I feel like that's another reason Their mind is going there because something is coming to a completion, and I don't feel like they're completely happy with it. And it's just very, there's something about it that seems to be agitating them. This is coming into you in the sense of like, you're seeing them go through this transition, and I almost might believe that you're getting a scattershot from this. You might notice little attitude, little frustrations, just being a little curt at times. Your partner might be a little agitated, and I feel like they might be a little cranky. Don't I use the word cranky? Like you might be catching a little attitude off of them every now and then. But I feel like you might have like the foresight to realize where it's actually coming from, and they're trying to deal with the frustration of what's happening. I'm getting the King of Wands in your partner's court. Don't get caught up in the gender like I say every time, but they're losing control of this project. That's what I'm feeling. If this reading is hitting, I feel like they're losing control of something. And by that happening, that's another reason they're like trying to pull control into somewhere. Like they don't want that to happen. They're trying to pull it back in. There's like a fight to push it out. There's a control battle going on here, something. But that situation is going through some type of metamorphosis on its own. I feel like the only reason we keep coming back to it is because it's scattershot onto your relationship. This is really aggravating your partner. They're not happy about this. And I feel like most of this is about your partner and them dealing with the situation. Because they got the Eight of Swords where they're standing with the let go. Like they're having a hard time letting go of a situation. Something didn't work out and they can't seem to do anything about it and they're not happy. Something is coming to a completion on their side. So they're going through something. And I feel like you're kind of left to the side with the scattershot, kind of like holding the home fires, and keeping the home fires burning, letting them have a minute. I feel like you're letting them kind of get through it. Because on the spiritual side for you, you're feeling like things are going to go, like you'll have your time. When you need them, they'll be there for you. Like it's just like tit for tat type thing. You know, one hand washes the other. Like right now they're having an issue, but in the future when you have an issue, they'll be there for you. I kind of feel like that's how you're looking at it. Because in the spiritual sense, with the karma side, kind of that's how I'm viewing this information coming in. The energy's kind of like, you know what? They're having an issue right now, and I'm there for them. But you know what? When I need them, they'll be there for me. So it'll be fine. So it's not that big of a deal. This is kind of also reminiscent of the Fool energy with you. You're very optimistic, hopeful, like, you know what? It's not for nothing. I can weather this. It's not going to last all that long. Sure, my partner's being a little brat right now, but I understand why. And I can get through this. It's fine. It's fine. And I feel like it's not really stepping bounds. For most cases, I feel like this should not be overstepping bounds of belittling or any type of violence because that would be too far. Ironically, I've learned the hard way. I need to actually say that to some people. So if it's going to a belittling, if they're belittling you or there's a violence thing going on here, that is too far. That is not something that should be allowed. That's not okay for anybody. Even though I realize some people seem to accept that to a level, I personally do not think that's acceptable at all. And I wouldn't advise anybody to accept that. So if it's going to that level, that's too far. And you might want to do something about that in the sense of like a breather, maybe get somebody else's opinion. Because if it's getting to any type of physical area, that's a danger zone. Even if it's just minimal in some people's opinion, that's a doorway that you want to be careful of. Because I feel like somebody out there is hearing this and thinking, oh, it was just a little something, it's not a big deal. Little things can become big things before you know it. I'm definitely not saying let that go. I'm saying get a third opinion at least, and maybe you want to do something about that now. Somebody that's hitting for. I don't know who, but if it's hitting for you, there has to be somebody in your life you can talk with about that, and maybe you need to run that by a third party to see how it sounds to somebody else before you just let certain things go. Okay? Yes. Okay. So I feel like whoever that was meant for, you got the point. All right. Now, going forward, you're very optimistic with your partner still. You got all these ideas. There's a lot of things you want to do with your partner, but you're realizing, you know, the way they are now, they're not completely checked in with you. You're okay with it. You're waiting for the dust to settle because you have all these things you'd like to do with your partner. Correct? Yeah, okay. I feel like that other energy was kind of usurping the reading for a second there, so I'm just letting that kind of calm down and move out. Because for the majority of you, whatever it is, it's moving on. For the majority of you, I don't feel like there's any belittling, there's not any violence. It's just kind of like, just rude comments, just kind of like, not really taking into account what you've done, acting like they're holding everything up on their own, like people aren't listening to them, just kind of being like, just expecting things to be done for them, that type of thing. Just kind of rude, little rude things you would see as rude. But that's, I feel like the way you're looking at this and the way it looks like it's going to happen is that kind of, once this situation moves on, I feel like that should move on as well. You might have to like stand up for yourself a little bit every now and then, which I wouldn't think was a bad thing. I would think it was a good thing. Like, you know, just like standing your ground, like, you know, you don't do everything yourself. I did this, that, and that. Just so you know, I am here. I am a support. Like, I feel like you might have to like just like remind your partner, like, you know what, you aren't in this by yourself. I am here, and this is what I have done. There's that strong energy come through. I feel like it's weird because like I would say it a lot stronger than it's coming through because I feel like it's very mild, and I don't feel like you're saying it in a biting way at all. I feel like you're just like, you know what, I did this, you're okay, this is fine, you know, you really aren't in this by yourself, you're okay. I just feel like you're calmly, like, just pointing out, like, you know what, I know you feel like you're on your own, you're not, just remember that. I feel like you say it nicer. I don't feel like I'm saying it in a nice way, but I feel like you, if this is clicking with you, I feel like you would say it in a much calmer, more diplomatic way. I don't know why it's coming out. I feel like that other energy is still pulling in here, so I'm trying to kind of disconnect from that. Either way, for whatever reason, when this situation finishes, you get into a better spot. You have Nine of Cups on your side, Ten of Pentacles on your partner's side. So the Nine of Cups on your side, you're very much happy, enjoying life, loving being with your partner. Your partner with the Ten of Pentacles is getting how it really is here. Like, they're seeing, like, you know what, I got a little crazy, I hope you understand this. And you're like, I feel like you're extremely understanding. You're like, yeah, I know. I just don't want you to really think that. I just want to make sure you don't really think that, because I am here for you. I mean, we're in this together. This is a cooperative effort. I know you're feeling like you're on your own, but you're really not. I feel like this conversation happens. I feel like it happens at some point, because they seem very appreciative of you, and you seem to be very, your heart kind of swells with gratitude, like you're feeling appreciated. This feels good. This also pops in that opportunity card, which all those ideas you were thinking about, this is where you can start talking about all these ideas you're thinking about. So whatever it is you want to do with your partner, whatever ideas you want to sort out with your partner, when they come back to you at this point, that's when you can start talking about that. I feel like that's good for two reasons. One, that old situation feels like it's done. But also, I feel like it can move that energy on a little easier for your partner if they have something else to center on, something that they would enjoy, something that they feel they have more say in, especially when it's cooperative effort between you and them. I feel like this is a much more powerful position for them, much more powerful position for you, and things can move forward a lot easier. Opportunity happens at this point where this conversation happens. Like, I feel like opportunity is birthed from that, if that makes sense. The abundance is already there, but this is where it really, like, this is where things come forward, and you can start, like, saying, I'd like to do this. Maybe it's a house thing. You'd like to buy a house, change something about the house. Maybe there's travel plans. Maybe there's holiday plans coming up and you want to start planning them now. Something like that. Are we good with this? All right, so I feel like this is all good for Virgo as far as relationships go. I feel like you're just kind of going through this with your partner. They're pretty much going through something. You're supporting them. Opportunity comes after. All right, I'm not going to rehash that. I'm going to go into Virgo singles. So what do we got for Virgo singles? Let me pick up these cards. So for Virgo single, messages for Virgos, the single Virgos who need some guidance. I pray for information to come through to them that they can do something with, that gives them empowerment, gives them some heads up to whatever's going on, if they need to have a little bit of a heads up, and strengthens them through whatever they need to go through. Okay. We have a double card right in the beginning. Another double card for where you're standing. Alright. Let's do, let's see what comes out. I'm going to do oracle cards. I don't know how many are going to pop out. I don't want to guess. I'm just going to see what pops out. The cards, I mean, there's a very strong feel for where they're leading here, for what they're going towards. And all right, this is definitely if you believe. So that's your bottom card on this. If you believe, I don't think the bottom card was really coming through on the main deck, so I didn't pull that one. But if you believe, so this is. The tarot cards on their own, they seem to say their own story. The oracle cards popping up here, I feel like the oracle cards are telling you that what's happening is for the best. So, where you're standing, you have the Ace of Swords with the Four of Cups. You want to start something, but you're not getting it to happen the way you want. You're waiting for something. I'm getting you're waiting, and you're waiting to start something. The Four of Cups is usually more of a not wanting an offer, but this is where you're standing. This is your position. I feel like you want to give an offer, but you're not feeling like the offer is going to be well received or the offer has been denied. And you're also, your mind is in the Eight of Pentacles, I'm assuming, yeah. So you're looking, I feel like this is more of an investigation type feel for you. You're really looking at this situation, trying to understand like why this isn't going forward the way you thought it would, the way you would like it to. The bottom card here, the three of I always want to call it the Three of Hearts. It's the Three of Swords. But something is blocking you from getting forward. Something is not working out here. And the top card is the Eight of Swords with the Romance card. You really have these strong feelings. I'm feeling like there may have been a physical connection here at one point, but that's all that happened. So if this is hitting for you, it may be a very strong thing where there was a physical connection, but nothing came of it. Nothing went from there. And I feel like that's what's creating this heartbreak. This is that person that you feel for, that you'd like to actually see them a lot more, and you'd like to get things started. You want to put it out there, but I feel like you're realizing that this person is not acting, like they're not responding to what you're saying. I feel like you're trying to get them, like you're trying to talk to them. I don't feel like you're just springing it, like let's start seeing each other more often. I don't feel like it's coming like you're springing it right out on them. You're trying to find ways to hang out with them so you can talk it in, like so you could talk about it and see if they want to do that. But I feel like you're even getting blocked from that. King of Wands with the Five of Wands. Five of Wands, that's a very combative card. That's usually a lot of people disagreeing for different reasons. But I'm also seeing the King of Wands like pretty much trumping that card. Eclipsing it, if you will. So I feel like the King of Wands is going through a lot of crazy stuff. And I feel like the King of Wands is reminiscent of the person you like. Don't get caught up in the gender of the card, but it's basically saying this is an active, forceful energy. Very active, kind of more of a... I'm getting more of a linear thinker. I wouldn't always say that for a male. Clearly, I'm a male. But I'm feeling like this person isn't getting into the emotions of a situation. They're just seeing it bare bones for what it is on paper. And that's what they're reacting to. there's a lot going on. There's a lot of arguments going on in their life. That's what I feel like is going on here. I feel like that's why this is behind it. That's why this card is behind the King of Wands. And this person doesn't want you to be a part of it, but can't really... Like, whatever happened with you and this person, it was just kind of like a distraction from what's actually going on in this person's life. And they're not really looking to go forward. Like, I feel like that's where you're getting blocked, because you just want to hang out and, like, talk about possibly seeing each other more, and I feel like they're blocking you even from that. When it comes to this, the Six of Cups, like, how well do you know this person is my question. Like, how do you know this person? I feel like this person has been around. I feel like you may know this person in some social sense, but maybe not close enough to know what's really going on in their life. I feel like there's been things in the past here with this person too. Like, I feel like you may have had a false start in the past as well. Like, it seemed like they were interested, and then it kind of fell flat, and then something came around again. It seems like it feels very physical, and now it seems to be falling flat again. I'm getting this person is really kind of dealing with a lot, and they do view you in a positive way, in the sense of like a release from stress, but they may not be thinking beyond a moment. It might be just like a momentary thing. Like, they enjoy being around you for whatever reason, but it's that moment, and once the moment's over, they don't really think about it again after that. When you're there in their sight, that's when they're thinking about it, but when you're not, they're not thinking about it. Okay. Now, the Three of Swords makes me feel like this is not something you would like. I feel like you really do like this person. But I am getting that they have the Six of Swords in the environment here. I feel they're not sticking around. I don't feel like you're getting much from them at all. I don't feel like you're getting much from them. I feel like they're moving away from you. Any opportunity you want to just hang out to talk things out, they're denying them. I don't feel like it's working. And in the future, you have the Five of Pentacles with the big happy changes. Five of Pentacles is being left out in the cold. The reason big happy changes is right next to it. Is like, this is for your best. This is your best. This is not a situation you want to be a part of. I feel like you like the person. It's not about the person. It's about what's going on in their life, and it's a lot of hectic craziness. And I'm feeling like it's just not something you need to be a part of, and this really wouldn't benefit you in the long run. Big happy changes. This person is literally, I feel like they're leaving your life. They're not really going to be around that much. Even if you're in the same social circles, they're avoiding you after this. They have decided they're not going to be... They've just decided no in the situation. But it's telling me it's to your benefit. Like, this is not going to work out for you. If this did go forward, this would be a lot more pain than you realize. This would be a lot harder than you realize, because there's a lot going on with this person. And I don't feel like this person is innocent in this situation. I feel like the way they look at things, the way they handle things, like the way they're handling the situation with you, creates more problems. Like, how they're handling the situation with you is kind of how they've handled some other things in their life, and this is breeding more problems. So, like, you might realize that the communication is not the best, and this person walking away seems to be a thing. And even if you were lucky enough to get into a relationship with this person, I feel like you'd be in that relationship and still kind of left in the lurch here and there, and it would be more confusion than anything else, and you wouldn't be happy. So the fact that this is moving on is, like, this is a good thing for you. That's what the big happy change is with the Five of Pentacles. It's saying you're being left out in the cold, but this is a gift. This is a good thing, because if you got into this, you'd be really unhappy. You think you're unhappy now? You'd really be unhappy then. I don't know if you'd be viewing that way right now, but that's how it's coming through. Again, it's a general read, so you got to take it for what it is. Ten of Wands. Ten of Wands in the end result. I feel like your feelings for this person might be a little bit more developed than just whatever the encounter was, however you got together. Your heart felt it, and you want to be there more. You want more out of this. and you're still kind of letting it go at this point. I feel like you're kind of carrying a torch for this person. I wouldn't recommend it, but with earth energy, if you're very connected with earth energy, if you start walking away after time, it'll just kind of deplete on its own and kind of move on. So if you're heading in the direction where you're kind of letting it go, you'll be fine. But if you're still kind of holding that torch, maybe like looking at this person's picture on Facebook or like things like that, if you're doing things like that, I feel like it could get worse for you. But if you're like, I don't know if it's over dramatic, defriending him or her, whoever this person is, it's just because it's the king I said that, him or her, whatever. Or if you're just ignoring or staying away from anything that reminds you of that person, I feel like it'll diminish and it'll just kind of, fade out on its own. It won't be such a big deal. But it does seem like with the Ten of Wands, it's going to take some time because you're holding these burdens. You don't really want to let them go. You still have hope for this. You'd still like something to happen from it. So you don't really want to put down this burden yet. But if you kind of start heading in a direction where, every now and then you start to put down a stick, like sooner or later you will have put down all 10 sticks and you'll have moved on. I hope that makes sense. All right, I feel like that wraps it up for Virgo singles. Of course, if you'd like a reading from me, go ahead, shoot me an email, james4astral@gmail.com, james, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. Thank you.